Reinforcements have arrived.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Lost. Reinforcements have
Reporting
arrived.
at once.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Vehicle report.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction options.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Acknowledged. Reporting.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Reporting. Awaiting orders.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Reporting. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wait,
Construction
affirmative.
complete.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
New construction options. Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Comrade? Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Construction complete. Building. Unit ready.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. On hold. Cancel. Building.
Reporting.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Construction complete. Unable to comply. Building in progress. Building. Construction complete. Building. Construction complete. Building. Unit ready.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Comrade. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Building.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Vehicle acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Cannot deploy here. Cannot deploy here. Building.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Spike lane ready. Select target. Insufficient funds. Construction complete. Unit ready.
Comrade, affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Our base is under attack.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Building. Unit
Yes,
lost.
sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options. Training. Unit ready.
Waiting order.
Affirmative.
Building. Training.
Acknowledged. Very
Unit
well.
ready. Training.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Unit ready.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Spike lane ready. Cannot deploy here. New construction options. Building. Select target. Building.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Select target. Unit ready. Reinforcements have arrived. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. At once.
Training. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Construction options. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Building. On hold. Cancel. Building.
Reporting. Agreed.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Spike lane ready. Construction complete. New construction options.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. Select target. Repair.
Waiting order.
Acknowledged.
Unit prepared. Repairing. Unit prepared. Repairing. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Vehicle report.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit prepared.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once.
Unit lost. Training. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Very well. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes,
Building.
sir. Affirmative. Comrade. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Vehicle
Affirmative.
reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes,
Spy plane
acknowledged.
ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle affirmative.
Building.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. At once. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Awaiting orders. Very well.
Reporting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Reporting. Agreed.
Comrade.
Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Select target. Reinforcements have arrived. Select target. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting. Acknowledged.
Awaiting
Acknowledged.
affirmative.
Comrade. Acknowledged.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative.
Reporting.
Acknowledged.
Naval unit lost. Naval unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Select target.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Comrade.
Affirmative.
Comrade.
Acknowledged.
Reporting.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Comrade.
Affirmative.
Report. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Agreed.
Spy plane
Agreed.
ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Vehicle
Construction
acknowledged.
complete.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Report very well. At once. Awaiting orders. Very well.
Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit
Report
ready.
affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Vehicle
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
prepared.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Unit prepared.
Affirmative.
Yes.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Prepared.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit prepared. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Awaiting. Acknowledged.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Awaiting
Unit ready.
orders.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Select target.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative.
Comrade. Acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Construction complete. Building. Unit ready. Building. Construction complete. Building. Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Repairing. Building. Unit ready. Select target. Unit repaired. Reinforcements have arrived. Building.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready. Unit ready.
Awaiting orders.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost. Building. Unit ready.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged.
Select target. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Building. Building.
Comrade.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Comrade.
Affirmative. Awaiting orders.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Waiting order. Comrade.
Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit prepared.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Preparing.
Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Unit prepared.
Reporting.
Unit ready. Building. On hold. Building. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Comrade.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Reporting.
Unit
Yes, sir.
prepared.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Comrade.
Prepare.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit prepared.
Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready.
Affirmative.
Preparing.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative. Reporting.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Building.
Affirmative.
Unit prepared.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Reporting. Very well. Affirmative.
Select target.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Waiting order. Comrade. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Waiting order.
Affirmative.
Comrade. Waiting order. Affirmative. Waiting order. Reporting.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
lost.
Acknowledged.
Waiting order.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Yes, sir.
Base is under
Affirmative.
attack.
Acknowledge.
Unit lost.
Acknowledge.
Spy plane
Acknowledge.
ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting. Acknowledged.
Unit
Waiting for
lost.
affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Awaiting order.
Acknowledge.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Training.
Waiting. Very well.
Unit ready.
Ready and waiting. Yes, sir.
Training. Unit ready.
and waiting.
Unit
Agreed.
lost. Unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Waiting.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir.
Yes, acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Unit
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative.
40 minutes remaining.
Comrade,
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade,
Awaiting. Acknowledged.
comrade.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Naval
Acknowledge.
unit lost.
Affirmative.
Comrade,
Naval
affirmative.
unit lost.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledge.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Awaiting. Acknowledged. Awaiting. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir.
Unit lost. Unit
Yes,
lost.
sir.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Unit
Acknowledge.
lost.
Awaiting order.
Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Awaiting affirmative.
Comrade, affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Awaiting orders.
Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Waiting order. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge.
lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yes, affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, affirmative.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Unit ready. Reinforcements have arrived.
Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. 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 At once. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Agreed. Report. Very well. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Ready and waiting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Building.
Vehicle report. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Structure sold. Structure sold. Building. Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Vehicle reported. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade. Comrade. Report. Affirmative. Report. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Comrade, acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Awaiting progress.
Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Vehicle
Acknowledged.
reporting.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Reporting.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Unit
Yes, sir.
lost.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Silos needed.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Building.
Vehicle report.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Waiting
Affirmative.
order.
Affirmative.
Reporting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders.
Affirmative.
Unit
Awaiting
ready.
orders.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Vehicle report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Mission accomplished.